Today is July 27th, which means two things. One, it's the 2-year anniversary of me having my nose pierced, and two, I'm getting my first tattoo today. Now, if you watched my full piercing tour, you'll know that I wasn't planning on getting any more piercings or tattoos anytime soon, but this tattoo is actually designed to fade. There's a company called Ephemeral, which uses a specifically crafted ink to tattoo people in a way that will fade. A quick OOTD. One of my friends suggested that I wear a bra because I'm getting a rib tattoo and they might ask me to take my whole top off, so I'm wearing this red bra from Gap. This little top is from Zara. These biker shorts are from Walmart, and I'm gonna be wearing my Birkenstocks that I spilled ginger ale all over this morning. Apparently I had shaken it and not noticed. Before I got dressed, I showered and ate, and now I'm just packing my stuff. One of the most important things that I'm bringing is this little top from Motel Rocks that I wore. Oh, I don't think you guys have seen me wear it in a vlog, but it is one of the smallest tops I own for going out, so it'll give me a good sense of how low I want the tattoo. My mom's gonna be driving me there, but she's just gonna be dropping me off. I told her she doesn't have to wait for me. So afterwards I'm on my own, and I'm planning on going thrifting for a vase, because I need a good vase for school, and I've been told that thrift stores look have the prettiest ones for super cheap. Hi guys! This is something new that I'm trying out. I've always wanted to insert like a MacBook clip into one of my videos. I know that the overall video and audio quality is going to be significantly worse in comparison to my camera, but it's just something fun, and if it doesn't go that well, I'm just not going to do it again. I ended up not buying a vase that day. I went into numerous thrift stores and just literally could not find one. A lot of them were closed for some reason. A lot of them just had clothes, and there was one that had like all home stuff, but nothing caught my eye. So I went home without one, and then last week I went to my first baseball game. It was a Mets game, and I got a large soda in a cup, and I kept that cup, and I'm actually going to use it as a vase, which is a little bit chuggy, but it is what it is. I also just wanted to apologize for not posting on a regular schedule recently. Work has consumed my entire life, and yeah, I do go back to school in literally a week and 2 days, so I will be back on a regular posting schedule then, but until then, just kind of bear with me. I am sorry. I do have content for you guys filmed. It's literally just that I don't have the time to edit it, or when I do, I'm so exhausted that I'm trying to prioritize my health over anything else because I got into a really bad habit freshman year, so this past year of college, of just like sacrificing my health to do what I had to do. And yeah, I'm just trying to rewire those priorities a little bit because ultimately my health is the most important thing. Now that that's all out of the way, I just wanted to talk to you guys about the entire process of getting this tattoo, and I'm gonna do it in a step-by-step manner so that it's kind of like a template for anyone who is also interested in getting a tattoo. So obviously step 1 is deciding that you want to get a tattoo. So I've always wanted to get tattoos, but when I turned 18, I feel like that itch grew stronger because I was like, I actually legally can now, and I'm not, so what's up with that? And so I would try and find pieces that I wanted tatted, and then every single time I would set my mind on a piece, I would inevitably get sick of it. And so this was hands down the most frustrating part of the entire process. And that was until I came across a TikTok where this person had gotten "Is it better to speak or to die" tattooed, which is a quote from Call Me By Your Name, which is one of 2 of my favorite films of all time. The second one being Dirty Dancing, which if you guys have never watched, you so should. I think it's on Amazon Prime for like $2.99, $3.99. But back to Call Me By Your Name, I'll explain why this quote resonated with me a little bit later, but that's step 2, finding a piece that you want tatted. And a really good tip that I read once that I didn't do, but I kind of should have, is get whatever you want tattooed as your screensaver for 6 months, and if you're not sick of it after 6 months, get it tatted. Obviously, this is not for everybody. Some people like to do things more impulsively, but this is if you're just unsure. So then step 3 is finding a studio, and for me, step 3 was really what put this plan into gear, because I had come across an ad for a company called Ephemeral, which specializes in only doing semi-permanent tattoos. So they start fading at 6 months, and then they're really supposed to fade between 12 and 15 months. It could take your body a little bit shorter. It could also take a little bit longer, but that's the average time. Now, do I know that this tattoo is going to fade entirely? No, that's a risk that I took when I got it, but it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to get laser on a very faded tattoo than it is to do it on one that's done with permanent ink. And I also got a piece of advice from a customer at my grocery store job who said that there's this balm that his partner used to remove one of their tattoos, and it works perfectly. So if it doesn't fade all the way, I'm probably gonna try whatever that is, or I'll look into it, and then I would get laser if it's not fully gone. But yeah, at that point it won't even be that expensive or anything. Overall, good energy. So then step 4 was booking an appointment time, and you have to decide on this before you can obviously go through with booking the rest of the appointment. So I went on the website, and I knew that I wanted to get this tattoo done during the summer. I know a lot of people say don't get tattoos or piercings during the summer because you can't swim, you can't sunbathe with a lot of them, but in the winter I'm going to Europe, and I knew that I was working a lot anyways, so I wasn't really gonna be having the opportunity to swim a lot or anything like that, or sunbathe, and the tattoo could heal perfectly fine under my clothes. But I had to narrow it down to an exact date, so I picked July 27th because not only was that the 2-year anniversary of me having my nose pierced, like my standard one, but it was also my roughly 6 months of being depression-free for the first time in 8 years. I have struggled severely with mental illness. I can definitely get into this, and will in a later video for you guys, but yeah, this quote resonated with me because even though it's a question that has no answer, and in the movie it's set in a completely different context, to me it's like, is it better to speak or to die? It's better to speak. always, because speaking and reaching out and getting help is always going to trump dying. There's a lot of improvements to be made regarding mental health, and it's definitely something that I want to dedicate my life towards with my current career plans, so yeah. So now we're going to get into more ephemeral brand specifics. So step 5 is filling out their survey. Now, this part actually comes before you can actually reserve the date, but for the sake of the template, I'm going to keep it phrased that way. New dates drop at 10 a.m. every Thursday with this brand, and that's when you can book your specific appointment. But in the meantime, before you can even do that, you have to fill out this survey, and it basically serves as a replacement for a consultation. My personal opinion is that they should just start having consultations, because the survey is phrased very ambiguously. It's like, you don't have to be 100% specific, but you should also know what you want so that your artist can start planning, and you kind of just get lost in the sauce with what you're supposed to put into the survey. So at that time, I had only had a pretty general idea of what I wanted, so I submitted like inspo pictures, and I ended up changing my mind in those weeks coming up to it. Like, I was finalizing the design until literally the night before, because I had to reach out to some German speakers that I know, because I wanted to make sure that what I was getting tattooed in German was grammatically correct. So I reached out to a German professor of mine, and she didn't get back to me until I literally had the tattoo done, so I reached out to a German friend in the meantime. She was able to ask her family, and I was able to construct it all. After I submitted that survey, I didn't really hear back for a while, until literally days before my appointment. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to not shower the day of, not put lotion on, like, what is going on? But ephemeral doesn't have like a contact line, which is definitely one of their biggest downsides, because as someone who's never gotten a tattoo before, I was just confused, and it would have really been reassuring to have contact. But as I was like searching through my emails, I find that I had an email from my artist. She was like, hey, could you send me more specifics, like blah blah blah, I really want to get this mapped out so it's ready when you get here. And I responded, but then she never got back to me, and when I ended up getting there, I realized that they had switched my artists around, because the names of them were just completely different, which I was like, I don't know, it just like, it started to feel a little bit like a drive-through tattoo appointment, which I know that it's semi-permanent, but regardless, having your first tattoo is a big deal, and I feel like they don't do enough to make it a very personal experience. And then step 6 was actually going to the appointment. So I'm just going to walk you guys through how the whole day went. So I got there, and they were having a staff meeting, which I realized was why they had called me like a week before to be like, hey, we actually need to postpone your tattoo appointment by like 2 hours, which I was like, cool, whatever. So I'd taken off work anyways, and I get greeted by somebody who explains to me the whole process of the tattoo, like just gives me a whole rundown, and then I'm let into the waiting room. Not let into, because it's like all one big studio space, but they let me go sit down, and I grab some Arizona, and my artist eventually comes out to meet me, and we start talking designs. I'm like, look, I have specific pictures this time. I wanted Is It Better to Speak or to Die written in German in Timothée Chalamet's handwriting, and I found this girl on TikTok that had exactly that quote in his handwriting, but she wouldn't release it until she got her tattoo done, so I was like, But my artist said that he couldn't recreate exact handwriting. I feel like if I had went to another place, like a standard tattoo shop, they would have been like, okay, I can work on it, like I can, I don't know, copy and paste the letters or something. And he was just like, no. So I was like, okay. So I start picking between these different scripts that he has. I'm like searching through, I'm asking my friends, like, which one do you guys think? I asked my mom, and eventually he leaves to go start prepping the station. He comes back and I'm like, can I have one more pass through all the options? And he hits me with, yeah, but then after that we kind of have to get started because we're gonna run out of time. And that bothered me more than anything. Like, if I had been at a standard tattoo place, I would have walked up and left. But the fact that it's semi-permanent was definitely really reassuring, and I don't blame the employee. My artist was great, he was really cool, but I just blame the entire setup of the brand because, like, he felt the need that he had to say that because we are in fact on a time crunch, and I just feel like we shouldn't be. Like, maybe expand the time that you have for these artists. Like, assume that a lot of people are gonna come get their first tattoos here, so, like, you know. But then I was like, okay, cool, I'd pretty much set myself really well on this one font, and so we go into the room. I explained to him that, like, I'm gonna be filming, and I was like, can I also change my top because I have this other top that gives me a good reference of how low I want this tattoo, and he was like, yeah, of course. He let me change alone, and then came back and we started working on the tattoo. Now, I did hear from somebody that ephemeral tattoos are more painful than regular tattoos because they have to be done slower, and something about the strokes so that you have a guaranteed fade. And I got a ribcage tattoo, and let me just say, I have a very high pain tolerance, but that hurt like a... Like, it just hurt. He said it was gonna feel like cat scratches, but it felt more like if you had taken the cat claw and, like, dug in and hit your bone and then come back. That's the best way. It's definitely tolerable, but, like, by the end of the tattoo, I was, like, really wanting to go home, and it literally only took, like, 10 minutes anyways, so yeah, I definitely developed a really new appreciation for people who have, like, sleeves and stuff like that. Then a girl came in and helped seal me up with a patch and explain the whole care kit to me and what I can and can't do. In the care kit is the instructions printed for you, a little Dr. Bronner's soap and Vanicream moisturizer, along with some other things, like there was a balloon in there and stuff like that, just fun stuff. But they explain to you how to use all of it, and then you are on your way home. I did grab some snacks before I left also, because I'm pretty sure when I got there, I just grabbed an Arizona, and then I was like, oh, I should take some snacks too, like, I'm paying bank for this. So yeah, and, oh, okay, so I don't want to, like, reveal the employee's name, not that I even know it, but I read that I didn't have to tip the artist because he got paid in a way that, like, made up for tips. But then I asked the girl, and she was like, yeah, so how it works is, like, they get a bonus at the end of every month, but, like, it's not a crazy amount, so, like, you can tip, but there's also a lot of people that leave without totally tipping, so I was like, okay, so I ended up tipping him $25 because I was like, that's kind of right in the middle. It's not tipping what I would usually tip, which is, like, 18 to 20, but it's also not leaving him with nothing. Like, it felt like a really fair middle ground. And before anyone comes at me for being cheap, I tip always, and I always tip really well. All of my friends know this. Like, I'm a big tipper, but for a tiny tattoo that I'm already paying $200-something for, like, I'm not gonna give you a $50 tip on top of that. I'm sorry, like, that's just not fair. In order to be fully transparent with you guys, I'm checking exactly how much I spent on this tattoo, and it was $236.03 plus the 25 tip. So what is that total? You guys, I'm good at basic math. I'm literally a bookkeeper. $261.03 in total spent on a very tiny tattoo. So they told me not to take the patch off for 3 days, but on my walk home it literally already started peeling because it was hot and I was sweating. And in the shower, literally the next day, it came completely off, and I started panicking. So I started doing some research, and I asked my manager at work because she has a few tattoos, and all the research and her were like, you're totally fine. They used to literally not even put like patches on tattoos and people were fine, so like don't worry about it, just keep it clean and like start your healing process. So that's what I did, because obviously I couldn't call them and ask what to do. And I will be posting an update for you guys about this tattoo in 15 months probably, just because I do keep it real on here for you guys, and if it doesn't fade all the way, I do want to inform you guys about that, even though they say it's a guaranteed fade. We'll see. Overall, I have no regrets, and I made a promise to myself that if I want a tattoo badly enough, I'm gonna make myself get it semi first. I'm definitely gonna break that rule eventually, but for now, it just is what feels right. And before I leave you guys, there's something that I wanted to comment on. So, as you guys know, I always put my socials on here for you guys and really encourage you guys to ask me absolutely anything or to just reach out to me to talk, but I recently had someone reach out to me and I started answering their questions about piercings, and the conversation soon slipped into a conversation that I was not comfortable continuing. I warned the person numerous times that if they didn't stop harassing me for answers about questions that I had already said I wasn't going to answer, that I was going to block them, and then I did have to block them for my own safety. I do not want you guys to feel apprehensive to ever reach out to me. I'm always here for you guys, but also I am a person and I just want you guys to be mindful of how you say things, because I really don't want to have to block anybody. That just kind of creates an environment where you guys can't, stay updated on my channel, and I feel horrible for blocking somebody who is supporting me in this journey. So yeah, I hate saying that, but it had to be said just because as my platform grows, I know this is going to happen more often, and yeah, so sorry. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And my Instagram is always in the description if you guys want to reach out to me about anything. And my comment section is always open, and I try and reply as fast as I possibly can. Yeah, to all my college kids who are moving in this week, good luck. This is such an exciting time in your life, and just really take it all in because it goes by so fast. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day.